yeah, grief doesn't have a timeline. It doesn't expire. How long has it been since Tanner has
It's
passed?
been a little over 8 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I remember feeling at the year mark, like, oh, people don't want to hear from me anymore. Like people, and I've heard that from other people. It's almost like you're allowed socially. Sometimes that's not true at all.
Yeah.
But like socially, like, oh, okay, like you should probably be getting on with your life. And it's like, no, it's not like that. And I just decided, I don't care if people think that about me. I really don't care if people think there's that girl on social media talking about her dead mom again. Like I'm talking about my mom. Like she was more than her death.
Hey everybody, it's me, Shay. Welcome back to Grief Witnessed, where we remember, where we tell the stories, and where grief is allowed to exist without fixing it. All right, everyone. Today we are here with my really longtime friend, Hannah.
Hello.
Hannah and I met when we were Mormon missionaries in the South, Arkansas, Little Rock. Trauma. It's a trauma bond.
Yeah, so I think we lived together for like 3 weeks. Yeah, so it was like a half a transfer.
3 weeks before I went home.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it was so fun.
It was really fun. And Hannah is so hilarious. She is like one of the funniest people I know. Yeah. But so Hannah, the purpose of Grief Witnessed is to sit and witness your grief, which means like listen to it. I'm not trying to fix it. Hopefully my listeners are able to just like sit in it's kind of uncomfortable to hear someone's grief and not like try to fix it.
Yeah.
And listeners, if you or someone you know is struggling with like sharing your grief and feeling like other people want to fix it, I just want to let you know that I am now offering grief witnessing sessions. They're like coaching sessions, but the purpose is to witness your grief and sit with you in it and love you through it. All right. So Hannah, you are actually my first episode where you are not a widow or widower. In the past, I've talked a lot with widows and widowers about their grief. Can you tell us about the grief that you have experienced?
Yes. So I lost my mama at age 24. So it's been 6 years. Last week was the anniversary of her death. And you always feel really close to, the loved one that passed away around the time of their death anniversary. And so I feel really blessed to be able to talk about my mom, and just, I've been thinking about her so much this week. And I think everyone, you're supposed to lose your mom before you, she's supposed to go before you, but it was so unexpected. And at the age of 24, she was 60 years old.
Mm-hmm. She's young.
She's young. Too young to die for sure. And I'm the baby of 5 kids. And so I just felt so, just my time with her was way too short, and I just miss her so much.
Yeah. Tell me about your relationship with her.
So my mom, she was an amazing person, and we were so close. Like I hear other people say they're close to their mom, and I'm like, were you? Because I know that people are. She just was my best friend. She was such a big part of my life that, whenever anything would happen, like I would think a thought and I would be like, Mom, like call her. Oh. This is what, in all 5 of us, 5 kids would do that. We were just so close, and she was the type of person that wasn't only like that to her 5 kids, she was like that to literally everyone. Like there were so many mornings when I would wake up and I'd be like, oh, great. Like one of my sister's friends are having a therapy session with my mom right now. Because
in the morning?
Just, like they, started talking to her at midnight, and then they just stayed there all night, and just, she just gave everyone her full attention, and she was just a really amazing person. And made you feel so loved and so important.
Do you get your sense of humor from her?
I mean, I think so.
Because you're so funny.
I was going to say she is like next level funny.
Is she?
So yeah, I will claim a little bit of her, but she was like the class clown, like keeps everyone entertained at all times.
Yeah. In what ways do you see your mom in yourself?
My mom was really creative, and I feel like that is something that she, passed down to me as...
You're hella creative.
Yeah, so I'm an artist.
Yeah.
She was just always amazing at supporting me in my art, and when she passed away, that was like a really big, unexpected change to not have that support. Like no matter what I did in the art world, I was in the middle of getting my degree.
Mm-hmm.
Anything I did, she just made me feel so incredible, and like she was just so proud of me. And then when she died, it was like, I'm never going to pick up a paintbrush again, because like no one's going to ever love me in that way. No one is ever going to appreciate what I'm doing in that way. And I've learned to, dedicate my art to her and my life to her.
Yeah.
But so through my art for sure. And then through my kids, I have two little babies, a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. They unfortunately never got to meet her. She taught me how to be a mother, even though she never got to see me be a mother. I'm just so grateful every time that I can see little glimpses in the way that I interact with my kids, or even the way that my kids interact with me, that make me feel like, oh, that seemed like little Hannah and my mom, Susie, So, Susie. Yeah.
That's cute.
Yeah. That's my daughter's middle name is Susie.
Oh.
And my sister had a baby at this, like, so my daughter and my niece are 15 days apart. And my sister named her daughter Susie. And my daughter is Ember Susie. And we named her Ember because of the word remember. So,
remember Susie.
Yeah. So she's our little remember Susie, our little glowing ember.
I love that. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You're making me cry.
Yeah.
That's really sweet. So you said your mom's death was unexpected?
Yes. So it was actually my dad's birthday the day before. This was March of 2020, which March of 2020 was hell for everyone.
Yeah, it was.
This was like a week before it, like officially COVID
shut down the world.
Happened. I think my mom's funeral was actually the last like allowed funeral. I think she was planning she was planning a birthday party for my dad. So cuz she died on a Saturday, my dad's birthday was on a Friday, and we were going to celebrate it on Sunday. And so we were just going about the day. I was talking to her on, do you know what Marco Polo? Oh yeah, Marco Polo.
Oh yeah, Marco Polo.
Marco Polo is like a talking app.
Yeah.
So I would Marco Polo my mom all the time, and she was telling me about the birthday party that she was planning for my dad. She had told me that she like wasn't really feeling well, and that she had a stomach ache. But I didn't really, there was, bugs going around.
Yeah.
I was actually at a friend's house. My husband and I, we were at a friend's house. The people that we were with had just ordered pizza. And right after we had ordered it, I got a phone call from my sister, and she said, "Hey, just wanted to let you know, like, mom is heading to the ER. She has a really bad stomach ache."
Oh wow, it was like really bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like so silly, but I remember feeling like, oh, I feel bad because these people just ordered us pizza. Like, but then I was like, wait a second. Like, no, my mom's in the ER, but I just didn't think at all.
Yeah.
Like, I just thought, okay, she's maybe dehydrated or something. But we, ultimately decided like, hey, let's go drive up there. And so my husband and I drove up there. My sister was slowly calling the rest of my siblings, and we eventually all, like the whole family, made it to the ER. And so I think there's about like 12 of us. But I got there first and got to the waiting room, and I decided to go back and see her. My husband just waited in the waiting room. So I went down, checked in to see her, and my dad was in the room with her. There was like a curtain, and I opened the curtain because I could hear her. I approached the room and I listened first, and I heard my dad. He was just like trying to rub her back, he's like, "Can I do this to help you?" Like, she was just in so much pain.
Oh.
Sorry, I get emotional when I think about this, but
it's traumatic.
Finally opened up the curtain. I was like, "Hi, Mom." And she said, "Hi, honey." She said, I'm really sorry, but I need you to like go away.
Oh.
That was actually the last like conversation I had.
Oh.
And I think I said like, "I love you."
Yeah.
But I understood, and I never in a million years thought that she was about to die. But I just could tell that she was in pain.
Yeah.
She, as my mom, didn't want her baby to see her in that much pain. I stepped out, and I think I told her that I was like, "Okay, like I'll go," but really I didn't. And I sat outside of the curtain. She didn't know I was there.
Yeah.
And there was a little bench. I just sat there, and I heard so a couple doctors came in and talked to her. And she said, they were like, "How are you doing?" And she was like, "Hey, I'm going to die."
Like, her pain was that bad?
Yeah. And she said, "I'm going to die." And sorry, the doctor was just like, "You're not going to die. You're just having a kidney stone." And she was like, "I'm not having a kidney stone. I'm going to die." Which is probably why she didn't want me, listening. I was annoyed at the doctor.
Yeah, that would have pissed me off.
Because I just knew how, like, even though I was thinking he was right, because you just trust doctors.
Yeah.
And so I just thought, like, okay, it's a kidney stone, but I didn't like how he was just really dismissive of her pain. Just kind of sat there and listened, and I just kept hearing her say that, like, "I'm going to die," and everyone was like, "You're going to be okay." And my siblings had started to arrive to the hospital. Yeah. I came out and, was saying, like, "The doctor thinks it's a kidney stone." I think my sister, Holly, went back for a little bit and was helping her. And I was in the waiting room for a while. So it was a little bit of a waiting, maybe like 30 to 45 minutes sitting in the ER. And this was, like I said, this was like right when COVID was starting to be a little weird. And so they were starting to be like, only 2 people back here, and, which it might be that way for ERs anyway. Decided after a while that I was going to go back. And I was back there with my sister Holly. To be completely honest, like, these moments were so traumatic and so visually disturbing that, like, I don't like to express like all the details.
That's fine. Yeah.
And I actually went through a phase after my mom died where I was like, literally would go up to a stranger and tell them these details, just because it was just so, I had a hard time with social events for so long because I felt like I needed to be like, "Hi, my name's Hannah and my mom is dead."
Oh,
like,
Hannah.
It just felt like that was me. That became my identity. Yeah. But then after that, I went through a phase of, no one deserves to know this. So now I feel like I'm at a place where, like, this story, you can separate like grief from trauma. And those are 2 different things. Mm-hmm. And I think people sometimes think grief is like, you need to heal from it. You need to, get better. And I have learned that that's not what you're trying to get better from, but you are trying to get better from the trauma of it. Because grief, you never want it to go away. I'm so grateful for this opportunity because I'm like, I haven't had the chance to like really just talk about how much I love my mom since her funeral in a way like this. Mm-hmm. In the hospital, my mom I was back there with my sister, and she started to like, she was sitting up doing some sort of breathing treatment. And she just started to like close her eyes and like go limp. And that was when I think they called a code blue, and, you know, doctors, nurses all came in and started performing CPR.
Yeah.
And I remember in that moment just thinking like, I wish I could go back and like hug that Hannah I used to be. Because in that moment, I just thought it was all about faith for me. And like, if I just have enough faith, then I can switch this. They started to perform CPR. My mind went into like, what can I do? Because I can't go perform CPR. I need to stay out of the way. But I also like know that if I just like pray, then everything will be fine. And, you know, I've learned since then that like God doesn't work that way, and that I don't need to even figure out how God works, because I just think we live in a world where our bodies die.
Yeah.
And it's not as like complex as that.
Mm-hmm.
And I just started praying, and I thought that she was going to like that it was just for a second, but when I realized like, oh, this is longer than what I thought, like they're still performing CPR. I went into, because it was me, Holly, my sister, and my dad. And, you know, we were all just like so scared. And something that I decided to do in that moment of panic, this is something I felt a lot of guilt for a while about, but I decided that I was going to run down to the waiting room, because the waiting room was like locked, and the people would only let 2 people in at a time. But I ran to the waiting room and I opened the door, and I just was like, they're doing CPR. And I just like broke all the hospital rules and let all 12 of my family members in.
Yeah.
And I remember the nurses started like running after us, and I was like, literally none of us care what your rules are. But then we got to the area where she was, and you know, it was the reason I felt so much guilt for so long about that was because I told you previously she didn't want me to see her in that way. And so I had let everyone in. But also, when I was little, there was like one little ER scare that she had. And I remember her crying and saying like after everything was okay and safe, she said, I just don't want my kids to ever like see me die. But in that moment, I just was like, I don't know what to do. And so then my whole family came in, and half of my family was very vocal, like trying to talk to her, like, hey, we're here. I think, you know, some people were like emotionally panicking, like there's just so much going on. And I personally was just like, I just gotta pray. And I remember praying, and I looked at her feet that were like turning blue, and I like ended my prayer, and I remember her feet like turned pink again. And I was like, oh, okay, like she's gonna be okay. And then in an instant, like she had died. And I remember the doctors coming up, because they were still performing CPR even though she was dead. And the doctors said like, hey, like we will keep performing CPR as long as you want us to. But we don't think she's coming back. And I remember them saying that to my dad, and just that scene was so so traumatic.
Yeah.
My grandpa, so my mom's dad showed up right after, and so my mom's mom died 100 days before she did. So my grandpa showed up, his wife just died, and then his second daughter actually died. And it was just so horrible and so sudden. And I was like, we were just planning a birthday party.
Mm-hmm.
I was just talking to her about my teacher that was one of our last conversations, was how my professor was kind of being a jerk to me. It was just so sudden. And the mortuary, or I'm not sure exactly who, came and took her body eventually after we were there for an hour or two. I remember this was all at like 10 p.m. And I remember it was like, okay, they took my mom. She's dead. And it was just like, you just sat there like, what are you supposed to do now?
Yeah.
And so we were all like, let's just like go home. And my dad, I remember telling my husband, like, I got to go with my dad. And I will never forget that like car ride, because I just sat there with my dad. It was like a 15, 20-minute drive. But he just kept saying, like, I didn't know that when we drove to the hospital, we wouldn't be coming home with her. I never thought he had just bought them a new car that they were going to go on lots of road trips for. And I just remember sitting in the front seat, like it's just all over, and my husband met me at my dad's house, and I slept there that night. And my mom, when I was little, she would sing "You Are My Sunshine" all the time to me. And I remember like laying in bed and singing the second verse to that song, which is "The Other Night, Dear." Or wait, now I'm like,
as I lay sleeping.
Yeah, I dreamt I held you in my arms. Yep. When I awoke, dear, I was mistaken. And I hung my head and cried. Good. And I just I don't know, it just felt so lonely. And just thinking about like this uphill battle I have for the rest of my life. And the devastation that she's never going to meet my kids. We also were going through infertility. We were about to start IVF. Like my mom had gone to a few infertility treatments with me. And it was just really devastating to think like if I didn't have this infertility, my mom would have at least seen my baby be like 6 months old or something. Like she would have seen me become a mom. She would have been at my birth. So that was really devastating for me. You just kind of have to like figure out, what to do from there. And it just feels like you're drowning.
You said earlier, like, I didn't think I'd pick up a paintbrush again.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about like that process for you? Because I remember at some point you started painting again, and I have these two images of what I remember seeing. Did you paint some birds?
Yes.
And then a woman like with like a white sheet around her or something. Yeah. And I remember that being, you talked a lot about grief. So can you tell me about that process for you?
Yeah. So I was in the middle of getting my degree. I had about a year left. And so I was starting my like final project where we had to pick a subject. And I decided in that moment that like what I wanted to do was like paint grief. Like I wanted to be able to, dedicate it to her, but also like do my very best to have someone going through grief look at a painting of a woman or whatever it is and be like, I know what that feels like. Mm-hmm. And so I did a series of grief paintings. But then I became a mom. So we had a successful IVF, and it was just hard to paint after becoming a mom.
Yeah.
And so I decided to do little projects like around my home. I started blushing embers, which is like when my daughter was 1 year old, that's when I decided to do that, because I just thought I love art so much and I need some sort of outlet.
Yeah.
And usually when I'm creating art, is usually when I'm like the most connected with my mom and when I feel the most at peace. And if I ever have stages where I like don't create a lot of art, it's usually where I feel disconnected, and it has been truly healing. And my mom took me to art classes from the time I was like 11 till the time I could drive. And so she was just my number one supporter with all of it. And I know that she would never ever want me to quit that. And
I have this distinct memory from the mission where you told me that you hated birds and you were scared of them.
Yeah, you're thinking of Ashley Hill. That's a different person. I love birds.
Okay.
But she was a friend.
Okay.
And she hates birds.
Okay. Were you guys companions at one point?
No, but we're buds.
Yeah,
so.
you're buddies. Okay. Yeah. Okay, because when you started painting birds, I was like, I thought she hated birds.
No, I love birds. I owned birds. So that was another thing is I think like 2 weeks after my mom died, I went and bought a bird.
Okay.
And
can you tell me like, how do they represent your mom? Oh
yeah, sorry. She always loved birds. And so that was just something that I felt connected to. And so that was an imagery that I chose to like represent grief. So yeah, there's just like a lot of symbolism in birds. And
can you describe, I want to link, I'll link in the show notes your final piece. I think it's the woman, right? Is your final piece for school?
Oh yeah, I had two paintings that were
okay.
I should have done more, honestly.
Yeah.
But I spent so much time doing those. So yeah, I have a couple of them. I have like 5 or 6 that are still in the works that I
really?
Haven't finished, but yeah.
Can you tell me how you came to decide, like, specifically this woman? Do you know which one I'm talking about? The woman?
The one where she's holding a bird, or the one with the cloth?
I guess both.
It's actually the same model in both of those paintings. Yeah, so the one where she's holding a bird, I titled it Memento, because when I got my bird, it felt like, I don't know, it just felt like this little piece of my mom that was still here, even though she had never met that bird. I saw this quote one time and it said like, grief makes you, maybe you even posted it. It said something like, grief like changes you in a lot of kind of bad ways, but it also makes you someone who talks to butterflies.
Oh, I think I reshared that. And I love that. Yeah, because I talked to butterflies literally. Yeah. Oh my gosh. On my way here, I walked to my car and I saw a butterfly. And it's been a long time since I've seen a butterfly because of winter.
Yeah.
But butterflies are a representation of Tanner for me. So I just said, hi, Tanner. So I literally spoke to a butterfly. But
no, I
go
love
ahead.
that. And yeah, because birds, for me, like my sign that I kind of like chose to recognize my mom in was birds flying like in the same direction as I was going, like kind of like alongside of me. And like just on my mom's 6-year death anniversary, a bald eagle flew into our yard.
Holy.
It was really,
that's
really cool.
Really cool.
You know, sometimes you think like, oh, I mean, there's birds everywhere, but then sometimes a bald eagle flies into your yard on the death anniversary. And you're like, okay, maybe this is a thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I tried to portray with the Memento, like about how like kind of that whole same idea with the butterflies. And then with the other painting of the woman wrapped in the cloth, like, that just represented like the anguish that you feel in grief. And specifically with me losing my mom, like when you lose your parent, you lose your roots, you lose you lose the people that like love you the most. Like I loved my mom so much. I still love her.
Yeah.
But becoming a mom helps you understand how much you were loved by your mom. And
amen to that.
I look at my Ember and I think like, okay, she loves me, but she has no idea how much I love her. And the thought of me not being able to be there for her, whether it's something exciting or something hard she's going through, it's like so excruciating. And I feel sad sometimes for my mom. Like, what if she is, like, I think she's sad that she doesn't get to be here. I do believe that. I hope that she understands things that I don't. But yeah, it sucks. Like, it sucks not having your mom here. It sucks not having a grandma. I mean, we do, Joseph's mom, she's amazing, but I just want my mom too, you know. So yeah, just trying to show through my art that grief, and hopefully people can connect to it. I started that wall in my home.
Yes.
And so I'm painting this wall of flowers on a wall mural in my home. And I originally did that because my mom would paint on the walls of our home. She painted flowers. And so I started painting these flowers and that were kind of like dedicated to her. But then I was like looking at the wall and thinking about, it kind of reminds me of what you're doing here with this podcast, like just the grief witnessed. And I just thought like, okay, I want to witness other people's grief through like I want people to share their story. And so I opened up on the comment section, like, tell me a story about your loved one who's passed away. Tell me what their favorite color was or their favorite flower was. And if I can, there was like way too many comments. I can't do it for everyone, but I was like, if you can share the story, if nothing else, to just like let other people read your comment and feel connected. Yeah. And if it works out, like I'll paint a flower for your loved one. And it's been so cool. Like there are a lot of comments on there, but I also get so many messages of people just like sending me pictures. Like, here's my baby that passed away. Here's my dad. Here's my husband, and everyone experiences grief at some point in their life. And I don't believe anything can prepare you for it. I used to think that maybe I could prepare people for grief in the way that I talked about it. But I think the more time that has passed, I've learned what it's more about, in my opinion, is being a place that other people can remember and come to when they do experience grief.
I remember, it was really soon after Tanner died, and you texted me that you wanted to get together, and we went across the street to my park, and like what you said was so meaningful to me. It's gonna make me cry, but you just said like, hey, I want to be someone that you can just get together with and just talk to Tanner, or talk about Tanner too, and just be sad.
Yeah.
And like that was so impactful for me. And I'm sure that there are lots of people out there that want to be that for me, but just for you to say it and give me that like permission was so helpful. So I just love that you are doing that for so many people through your flowers and your art.
Yeah. I remember talking to this person. It was a stranger. And they expressed that someone died. I don't remember if it was their child or their husband. But they said, yeah, I lost we'll just say child in this example. I lost my child 3 years ago. And I said, oh, so that like just recently, like you just lost them. And I remember they were like taken back because they were like, anyone I say I lost my kid 3 years ago to says, oh, okay, so that was a while ago. And I think I used to be that. Like, I think before understanding this, I think I used to be the type of person like, okay, 3 years. You know, like
Time
that's a
is so
decent time.
different after you lose someone.
Yeah. But I'm like, okay, it's been 6 years.
Yeah.
And I still think about her every day.
Yeah.
I miss her every day. The longer, like each year mark, 4, 5, 6 now, it's more painful. It's more painful because they're further away.
Yes.
Yeah, like I said, you want to heal from the trauma, but you don't want to heal from that love. Like you crave it. Like you go through times, you think about him every day, but you go through times where, you don't feel that, like, I don't know, maybe that closeness. But then when you feel it, like it hurts so bad, but it hurts so good.
Yeah.
Like you love to feel it.
Yeah.
Because you feel them and you feel them in your life.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I think it's really important to recognize that, like, yeah, grief doesn't have a timeline. It doesn't expire. How long has it been since Tanner has passed?
It's been a little over 8 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I remember feeling at the year mark, like, oh, people don't want to hear from me anymore. Like people, and I've heard that from other people. It's almost like you're allowed socially. Sometimes that's not true at all.
Yeah.
But like socially, like, oh, okay, like you should probably be getting on with your life. And it's like, no, it's not like that. And I just decided, I don't care if people think that about me. I really don't care if people think there's that girl on social media talking about her dead mom again. Like, yeah, like I'm talking about my mom. Like she was more than her death.
Yeah.
And
ooh, I got the goosebumps.
Yeah, like she was more than her death. She was like my life. She gave me my life, and I want to live my life for her. So,
I love that. That's beautiful. Yeah, I think people. Well, what you were saying earlier, that it hurts so good. I have these pictures or videos that I watch and I look at, and they're either like videos of me crying in my grief, or they're like really hard to look at pictures, and it just brings the emotion back for me. And I'm like, I'm not torturing myself, but I just like, I want to feel how I felt again, if that makes sense. And I don't know how to explain that to someone, but it hurts so good.
Yeah.
Like, kind of like what you were saying.
You just want to do anything you can to feel them.
Yes. 100%.
It's like something that was, I know that our senses, bring a lot of emotion. And I have this blanket made from my mom's clothes, and I've never washed it, but I also don't use it a ton because I don't want it to smell like me. Like I want it to smell like her. And if I go and like, if I'm ever really missing her, even if I'm feeling like, oh, I feel a little disconnected, I will go and like smell that blanket, and it just brings me right back to her and grounds me in like my purpose as a mother too. And yeah, it's just so good to remember them, because why would you not want to remember them?
I love that. So tell me, how are you moving forward with your grief and the love that you have for your mom?
I mean, I've kind of already said this throughout, but definitely through my art and my motherhood. Just the other day, I was talking about eagles, right? And like how like sometimes little birds, or there's the reminders that you choose to think.
Choose to believe in.
Yeah, choose to believe in.
Yeah.
But like on her death anniversary the other day, I was sitting there doing my makeup, and my daughter came in and grabbed my blush and was like, like putting on these like big rosy cheeks.
Yeah.
And I just had this like full circle moment where I was like, whoa, like I remember sitting there in like I remember sitting there doing that with my mom's makeup.
Mm-hmm.
And while I have the choice to say, no, Amber, I'm not going to, because my mom didn't do that to me. Like, my mom let me put on her blush.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you talk about like moving forward with grief, like, I feel like that is the best way to, like, I know some people do believe this, and that's totally okay. But I do not believe my mom died like for a reason.
Yeah.
I don't believe that it was like part of a plan. Like I said, I think she just has a mortal body and things happen. So while I don't believe that things happen for a reason, I want to give my grief reason.
Ooh,
and I want what happened to matter in the little choices, like allowing my daughter to, you know, get a little messy with the blush, or, you know, things that my mom did.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I try to live my life in a way that I think that she would want me to, you know.
Final question. Tell me a memory, one of your favorite memories of your mom or with your mom.
Some of my favorite memories with my mom, I would say, are the smaller ones. I was the youngest, like I said, and I loved in the morning to go. Well, my siblings were at school, and I would go just like crawl in bed with her. And I remember she would pretend she was asleep, and I would like pinch her. I would like pinch her till she would wake up.
Uh-huh.
And she, I mean, it's kind of ironic now because she has passed away, but she would like play dead. Okay.
Oh, uh-huh.
And then I'd like pinch her, and then I'd like pinch her harder. And she'd be like, "Oh, you pinch your dead mom." But just things like that. Or like when I was in third grade, she would come and check me out of school and take me to lunch. After she read, like she would volunteer. And that was something I was thinking about, like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited for my daughter to turn the age of like, you know, being in school all day. And I want to check her out. Like if I can, I would love to check her out once a week or once a month and just go have like one-on-one, and my daughter and my son, you know, go have that like one-on-one time with them and go get them a cookie. You know, she would just do that. And yeah, just all these small moments. 3 months before she died, I wanted to, we were getting ready for Christmas, and we were financially like pretty tight. And I was like, I want to get everyone a Christmas present, Mom, but like, I don't have money. I don't know what to do. And my family was the type, like, we all get like 12 to 18 presents for everyone, you know? And she was like, well, why don't we make something? And she was like, what if I come to your house? I remember like wood beads were really in at the time. And she was like, why don't I come to your house and we just have like a fun mommy-daughter date, and let's just make some homemade wood bead crafts for everyone. And I was like just so excited.
Oh.
And she came over, we grabbed some food and just hung out for like hours making these like, I don't even know, bracelets, like just so many random little things with these beads. I remember like I was just having so much fun. I didn't like take any pictures or videos. I wish I did, because I wish I could like see something to remember that. But like, because I didn't take pictures, like that just shows how much fun we just had together. And that was like my last full memory of like a one-on-one time with my mom. But it's something that I will just treasure forever. And yeah, I wish I could still do it with her, but I am glad that I get to be that for my kids.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful for my sisters too. Like it's not the same, right, as your mom, but they help fill the hole in your heart. And yeah, she's just a really, really amazing person.
Well, you are really amazing.
Mm.
So thanks, Susie.
Yeah.
Thank you for allowing us to witness the grief and the love that you have for your mommy.
Yeah. She was special.
Mm-hmm.
Can I say one more thing?
Say it, girl.
One thing I want to say is, like, to anyone out there who is experiencing the loss of a loved one, I just want to say, you had a death doula
Mm-hmm.
with sudden death, right? Like, we didn't have anything like that. And I just really want to say to everyone that, like, no matter what the expectation is, no matter what people have done before you, like, there is no rules with a funeral. There's no rules
Amen.
with how you should or shouldn't do things depending on your culture. And it is okay. I wish someone would have said that to me. I wish someone would have said, it is okay for you to do the things that you need to do.
Yeah.
When I said goodbye to my mom, like, the tradition, like, right before closing the casket, they say, like, we'll have family in here for a prayer before we close the casket. And I was like, okay. And then I just watched as, like, no one left the room. And I realized, like, these cousins of my mom, or, you know, and hopefully that doesn't, like, offend anyone if they watch this, but, like, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to say goodbye to my mom for the last time.
In front of all these people.
In front of all of these people.
Yeah, I didn't like that either.
And I wish so badly that they would have said, okay, let's have this prayer. Okay, now everyone leave, and just the, like, posterity of Susie.
Yeah.
Or the parents of Susie, you know, like, siblings even. Let's just do that. And so, yeah. And then another thing too is, after my mom had died, my siblings all got together and they were going to go and, like, do her hair and makeup and nails. Like, my sister does that for a living.
Mm-hmm.
And they invited me, and I was really scared. I was like, I don't want to remember my mom in that way. But I am so glad that I did that. I'm so glad that I went and spent time with her body. I'll never forget, like, my brother helping paint her nails, you know, like,
that's sweet.
And those moments were just, like, so precious. So that's just something I really want people, whether it's sudden grief or sudden death or expected death, like there's no rules, and this is your loved one, and these are your last moments with them, and, like, just hold on to it and cherish them. And even though, you know, their, like, spirit's not there, like, it's still the vessel that held the spirit, and it's really sacred. So anyway,
thank you for sharing that. And yeah, like, I'm grateful you gave everybody that, like, permission, you know.
Yeah.
There are no rules. Like, we had Star Wars playing at Tanner's
Yeah,
funeral
and
crumble cookies. So
I love it.
Do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah. I talked about how my mom didn't wear a bra during her funeral. So, like,
oh my gosh,
do what you need to do.
Like mother, like daughter.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, thank you, my friend, for coming on the Grief Witness podcast. Love you. Give me a hug.
Yes.